変身
Rider time!
Kamen Rider Zi-O.
Hello Tokusatsu community, welcome back to Toku Topics. It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for an episode of Kamen Reviews Zi-O. Welcome to Kamen Reviews Zi-O, the series where I cover every episode, review every episode of Kamen Rider from the Heisei period, every season, every episode. Usually it's in a long series video where I cover the whole series in a couple hours, but since Zi-O is the current series, I wanted to go ahead and cover Zi-O episode by episode. That way we have content going constantly on the channel, and we can continue to speculate and everything as Zi-O goes on, and we can watch it together. So let's go ahead and get right into it. With the end of the Heisei Era begins with Kamen Rider Zi-O Episode 1, Kingdom 2068. This episode aired on September 2nd, 2018. It's the first episode of Zi-O, the 912th overall episode of the Heisei period, and the 1386th episode of Kamen Rider in general. In this episode, when 18-year-old Sogo Tokaiwa is chased by a time traveler who wants to kill him before he becomes the tyrant Oma Zi-O in 2068, he must learn to harness the powers of the Heisei Riders and become the king he was born to be. The monster of the week was Kaijin Rider Another Build. My favorite quote was, "His name is Kamen Rider Zi-O, and you have borne witness to the dawn of his advent," which is what was said when Sogo became Zi-O for the first time. My favorite moment was Build and Cross's little cameo in this episode. And the background for this episode is Zi-O, because Zi-O is the rider form that debuted in this episode, along with some other things. Some other rider forms that appeared included Gates and Gates' ghost armor. So diving right into this episode, unlike with Kamen Rider Build and that Kamen Reviews, I had already seen the first episode many times before I reviewed it. And I had seen a lot of the series, so I knew things to come that the first episode didn't reveal yet. This is the complete opposite when it comes to Zi-O here. This is, as of this recording, the newest and currently airing Rider series, and episode 1 is all we got to go off of, which makes this even more exciting. There is a lot that I love with this episode, but there's also some things that I didn't like too much. First, I really enjoyed the basic premise of the series, the whole idea that Sogo will have to travel through time and meet all these legendary riders to learn how to prevent the future where he becomes Oma Zi-O. I love anniversary seasons and returning actors, so something like this is right up my alley, and this episode doesn't really disappoint with that. You know I love Build when it's only been over a week and I lose my mind when Sento and Ryuga show up in this episode. It's the way that they do it that I love. So basically their time machine, it flies through this portal and then it just smashes into the skywall. That was great, because like right from that shot you know what's about to go down. You're like, oh, this is Build, here we go. And then a Smash is running away, and out of nowhere, the math ramp. Yes, here we go. Build and Cross show up. They head to the cafe, and then they get knocked out by Tsukuyomi's Fi's Phone X, since Sugo is messing with the past too much. And Sento gets to climb out of the fridge. Ryuga just gets to kind of just be there, which is already enough for me. And oh, it's fantastic. Speaking of Tsukuyomi, she's easily my favorite character in this episode. I love her humor moments along with her attitude and seriousness towards all this situation. And I also never thought I'd be able to say this sentence. A time-traveling rider walks into a cafe while a returning legend climbs out of a refrigerator with a watch just to get knocked out by a phone gun. Stuff like this is why I love anniversary seasons in Toku so much. I feel like it's time to talk about Gates for a little bit here. He doesn't do too much other than chasing Zi-O, since Oma Zi-O probably killed his family or some other Toku trope like that, but I did enjoy his henshin and the use of the ghost armor at the very end. The fact that it can summon the parka ghosts, that's a really neat touch, especially as he just runs with the ghosts behind them and then that's just the end of the episode. And before we talk about Sugo himself, there is just a little I want to say about the Another Build monster. It's a very neat design. I like the fact that he goes around trying to find the best match. That was neat. Throwing the basketballs was interesting for sure. You know, he just kind of roams around. It's an interesting design. It really looks like an SIC figure. If you're not familiar with those are, they're like monstrous design versions of Kamen Riders. And this is pretty much like an SIC figure physically in the show. So that's pretty neat to see, and I like this idea of like these monstrous riders being the main villains of the series. And Waz was another favorite character of mine here. He was the one who said my favorite quote of the episode, and you can tell he's disappointed Sugo wants to be a quote-unquote good overlord. I don't know really how you do that, but I feel like he's pretty disappointed that Sugo is not going to turn into like an evil overlord. So I feel like that would eventually make Waz maybe turn against Zi-O and become maybe an evil rider down the line. I just kind of get that vibe here. I could be completely wrong though. Ironically, as for Sugo himself, he was easily my least favorite part of this episode, which isn't exactly a good sign here. I find him pretty annoying and stupid for most of this episode, but I will admit the actor looks like he's having a lot of fun with it. I think he will become a character I enjoy as this series goes on, but for now I just can't see him as the same Oma Zi-O we see at the beginning. But I guess time will tell. Also, a quick note, Toei. Dinosaurs, they don't sound like elephants. I don't, like, what even was that? I don't know what you did there. I don't know who did that in the sound department. It's this dinosaur, it shows up, it makes an elephant sound, and it just jumps right into the intro. And I was like, what happened there? But anyway, welcome to a brand new Rider series. Overall, I give this episode a pretty solid 7 out of 10. And I'm very excited to see where Zi-O will take us from here. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode of Kamen Reviews Zi-O. Make sure you guys check out the series every Wednesday on Toku Topics, as we will be reviewing the entire series of Zi-O, including movies and specials and everything, alongside previous Rider series will be coming out every once in a while as a big video covering the whole series. Tell me what you think. Did you like this episode of Zi-O? What do you think is going to happen in this series? And are you even watching it? Let me know down in the comments below if you guys liked it or not. Personally, I'm excited to see where this is going to go. Love the suits, love the gimmicks, love anniversary seasons. Can't wait until the rest of the build crossover next week. And that's all I really have to say about this episode. So until next time, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and check out my friend Corey's watch along and reviews on this show over on his channel Go Mango. I'll be linking that in the description below. And you can find me on the Toku Teens Podcast, Toku Topics, and of course, my Twitter at LivingRangerKey, and my articles and Soto Sunday series at Toku Toy Store. So thank you guys for watching this episode, and until next time, Tokusatsu forever.